I was interviewing for a accounting position over 10 years ago. So it was before I started my business. And, typically one of the questions that I ask when I'm in an interview, as part of my Q&A section for potential new hires is, how did this position become available? And they said that they had this really amazing accountant. They'd been working with her for 15 plus years. She was absolutely wonderful. This was like 2010 or 11. So she was still very paper heavy, this accountant that they had. And unfortunately, one day on her way to work, she got into a car accident and she passed away. So they lost their accountant. They lost a friend, but they also lost an accountant in the matter of seconds. And unfortunately, because the data was not shared and was not transparent with the business owners, they actually had no data whatsoever. All of the data was lost completely. So transparency is not just to build trust, but it's also just a very good business practice because you just never know what's going to happen. And unfortunately, things do happen. So in order to protect you, protect your business, and to give yourself the space to grieve whatever loss that looks like, transparency is an absolute must when it comes to setting up business practices. And if you don't know the exact steps of what transparency would look like between you and your finance team, this is something that we go over in the Finance 101 course and helps you set up so that you can ensure that no matter what happens in your business, no matter how your team changes or who you're working with, you have that built-in trust factor because you've set up transparency practices, internal control practices. Super, super important on many different levels because having been in accountancy for 17 years, you see a lot of stuff. And I always learn from these lessons, even if they didn't happen to me directly, so that I can ensure that I'm setting up my clients, my business, and future businesses with the foresight and proactive space in order to ensure that you are set up completely and you are set up for success.